Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this is about what does the first wave of ascension mean? Well, to break it down into one sentence, the first wave of ascension means the transformation of all of us into a plasma light body. And this can happen while we are alive. You don't have to die. Of course, if you leave your body and transition to the other side, you have gotten rid of the dense material form, but you still exist with your subtle bodies. And they are much more open for what is in the field all around, in higher frequency densities or dimensions, as the beyond or the other side already is kind of another dimension, which is higher in frequency. So you have much more access to information and light and life force or healing power. As we are 85% water in this material body, plasma is the fourth state of water. It is gel-like. You all know LCD crystal displays. LCD means liquid crystal display in your TV sets or your computer screens. If you put your finger onto it, you can see that it makes a little inundation and kind of as like waves in a gel-like medium. There is something going away because of the pressure you put onto the point where you put your finger. So, to give you an idea what plasma is like. And plasma, as the fourth state of matter or water, is created by heat and pressure. We know the three states of matter from physics, which are solid, fluid, and gaseous. So our body also is made from solid flesh, fluids like blood and these 85% water, and gaseous elements, like in your lungs, you're breathing air, that's oxygen. Oxygen is a gas. And if you have only one element, like hydrogen, nothing will ever happen. If you put oxygen together with hydrogen, you get a reaction because two elements react with another. They go into different molecular states and they create new combinations. And the more elements you bring together, the more reaction you have. So everybody knows that kind of life forms to appear need water. The life starts in the water. So our body system is not only this flesh body, flesh and bones, it is also the etheric body, the astral body, and the mental body, to mention just the main subtle energy bodies. Our soul for existence is pure light, energy, and energy is frequency and vibration. And because it cannot fit and be kind of concentrated in this dense matter, we are living in a microcosm and we are just one kind of visible appearance or form of the greater we that we are. I already said in other videos that our microcosmic field is actually like a circle or three-dimensional. It is a sphere of energy around us with a diameter of around 30 meters. So this big field is around you all the time, invisible to your normal 3D eyes, and it is light and energy and vibration, frequency. How do you think that these scientist guys that want to find life on other planets find out whether there are signs of intelligent life on a planet? Well, they measure with devices the elements that are necessary for life to occur, and every element, like hydrogen or oxygen, emit a frequency that can be made visible as a color. So an example for the etheric body from my own past. When I was younger, I already loved music, but I thought I could never play like all these other cracks. So I was hanging around with a lot of musicians in my circle of friends. And of course, we went to concerts. And I remember one instance when I was in a concert and I was sitting on some kind of balcony, like in an opera or theater. And I was staring at the stage like crazy, staring at these two guys that were kind of talking with each other via their instruments and having a solo or a duo while the others made kind of the background and a playground for them to express via their instruments what they were kind of throwing back and forth as harmonies and melodies between each other. And I was staring and staring and staring, and suddenly I saw around these two that I had focused on very, very strongly, kind of a white outline appear around their body, maybe 5 to 10 centimeter above the body, and it was kind of shining white light. And I thought I'm crazy, but later in my life, when I started reading about spirituality and digging deeper into certain topics, I found out this is the etheric body, where the divine life force that is kind of enabling life and this body to work and walk around and function is flowing. And you can train to see the light body, this kind of etheric body where the life force is flowing through, that animates the life, and you can also feel it. So I gave you an example when I, without knowing what I was seeing, I saw it around these musicians because I focused and stared at them. And then suddenly happened something with the vision while focusing and staring, and I suddenly could see this kind of white light outline around their bodies. So the etheric body still looks in the form like the human body. It is a little bit around the whole form of a torso to arms to legs and a head. The next body, oh, I forgot. You can also feel the flow of the life force through your etheric body. I had this feeling when I once tried out from a friend who had a yoga studio, a free yoga lesson, and after 1.5 hours taking these different positions and trying to find the point of relaxation and tension in balance and harmony, after that session, I felt kind of everything was flowing inside of my body. I could feel how the life force was flowing through the etheric and the material body. So the next body is the astral body, which is the body of emotions, and emotions are vibrations and frequency and can be made visible as colors. If you look at some of the old books, there is one about the aura from C.W. Ledbetter, a British member of the Theosophical Society. He was drawing auras from people, and there are some good examples in this book about the aura. So if you see, the form is no longer like the body. It is already an oval, like an egg-shaped field around you, where circa in 1 meter or 1.50 meters, your emotions, your emotional vibrational state is manifesting. Not visible, but sometimes nearly tangible. You can feel it. If somebody is kind of enraged and furious, you can feel the vibration in the air around them. And Ledbetter, for example, I remember this one very good example of of a person in total rage and fury. And he draw this oval shape around the figure, and that was kind of representing the astral body, and it was filled with dark clouds and red lightning and flashes and stuff like that. So that gives you a good idea what happens in the invisible around you in your energy body of the astral, the emotions, when you are furious. And why do you think there are these saying like someone is green with envy? That is not just a saying. People in ancient times were much more able because they did not deny their psychic abilities and that they are more than just this body. They saw the color of envy, a kind of very toxic green or maybe toxic yellowish green. So colors are also representations of frequency and vibration. And the next body is the mental body, which was in the beginning, at the times of the beginning 19th century, depicted and described by, for example, Rudolf Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy, and of course they were kind of the follow-up of the Theosophical Society and had connections with them. He described it more or less as not yet fully grown. It was just a circle around the head. Makes sense, because that's where you think. There is your brain and mental activity, so the energies are mainly here around the head. But your soul is pure light. It is energy, which is frequency and vibration. And this is in the invisible field 30 meters around you. So we're all living on this planet, which has a certain frequency. You can watch that frequency in the Schumann resonance. And when they sent out the first astronauts to outer space, they found that they had to install a device that emits the Schumann resonance frequency of 7.8 hertz, because without that frequency, so far away from Earth and its energy field, the astronauts got weak and sick. So we are living on the planet This Schumann frequency is the electromagnetic wave function of the energy of planet Earth, and it is between the surface and the ionosphere. So we live in that. We can't see it, but we can measure it nowadays with devices. That's how the Schumann resonance came about. And it is 7.8 hertz. Just to give you an idea, human brain waves up to now are known in certain states. The most focused and high concentrated in problem-solving state of brainwaves is the gamma state, which is 30 to 100 hertz. The next state, the most usual for all of us, so to speak, is the beta brainwave state, which is normal awakeness while you're going through your day. It is between 12 and 30 hertz. The next one is alpha brainwave state, which is focused but relaxed, the meditative kind of state. It is 8 to 12 hertz. Then the theta brainwave state, which is the point before waking up or falling asleep, and also used in hypnosis to get connection with your true inner self, your higher self, for example, in a QHHT hypnosis. Theta brainwave state is 4 to 8 hertz. And after that comes delta, which is described as deep sleep. So it's 0.1 to 4 hertz. Tibetan monks are able to reduce their heart rate and breath rhythm nearly up to delta, so a very low state of 0.1 to 4 hertz. And in that state, they can do wonderful stuff like healing, sometimes even telekinetic things like moving things by their willpower. So all these states, just to give you an idea, make up our human possibilities. And as we are at the end of a great cycle now, every 12,000 years, like the Hindu calendar tells you, or in the European or nowadays version, it's called the step into the Aquarius age. And just imagine the image of Aquarius. It's a figure, a male figure, holding a vase or some kind of containment, and it's flowing or pouring out water over everything. And I told you that water is a very special thing, not only what we think. It's got a lot of kind of hidden qualities and potential. So we're stepping into a new age. The Hindus call it the golden age. We're going towards that now, leaving the Kali Yuga, the dark age, and moving on towards the Satya Yuga, the golden age. Or we're moving from the Pisces age into Aquarius, which is about, expansion of consciousness. And consciousness can also be depicted as water, because water can store information. If you freeze water, you can make certain things visible. There are even people that work with that and imprint thoughts, patterns and structures into the water, then freeze it and bring it out, and you can see that the water forms out certain patterns representing the thought or whatever it was structured with. So, our system, this solar system, is getting, via the central sun, 150 hertz. Now especially strong, and some of you may feel that. I feel it sometimes because it's coming in waves, kind of lifting up the whole Earth frequency and our frequency as well. Sometimes I get up in the morning and after 6 or 7 hours I still or again feel tired, because this flesh and bones body has to kind of get used to the higher frequency and process that. And if you're full of resistance within your thinking, or you react only with your body and think, oh, something's wrong, I have to see the doctor, well, you can do that, but they will not find anything, or just prescribe you something, and then you're in the machinery of the pharmaceutical industry as a buyer of drugs and pills that don't really help with this process of ascension. So there's another example, as our solar system is not standing still but moving in the Milky Way galaxy, in this arm of our galaxy, around in circles and also up and down in waves. That is the normal movement of energy waves. They are going up and down. Unless you focus, then you create a standing wave, which you can also let collapse, and then it has kind of it causes something. So we are moving towards a special place in our galaxy. It is called the Oort cloud, and it is a gas cloud which is very hot, 6,000 degrees Celsius. So try to imagine if our solar system with our planet comes to in a far hotter and denser region of this universe. Of course, that will have influence on you and on everything. The funny thing, Corey Good talked about in one of his talks, a whistleblower from 2017, I think, under the wing of David Wilcock. He talked about some of his SSP missions, the secret space missions he did while on Earth nobody knew, covert missions, black programs, and they flew towards the Oort cloud because they wanted to study it or explore it, whatever. And he described that on the spaceship, the people that were more or less already in a positive mind state, they blissed out the more closer they came to the Oort cloud. And the people that were a bit more, reserved or negatively oriented, they kind of freaked out and got more negative, aggressive, and kind of like the asshole type. So that shows that you have to be prepared for this transformation into a plasma light body, which happens by heat and pressure. If you use the gaseous state, maybe of water, and you put it under pressure and heat it up, then you get the plasma. So the first wave are all the ones who did at least start with inner work. That means inner healing, letting go of false beliefs that do not do you well, that do not function, although everybody says it's right and without questioning kind of adapts that. You know, I love to play with words. If you just take the word question and divide it into 3 parts, you get quest, I, and on. The quest I'm on, we're all on a quest. We're all searching for our purpose, what's the meaning of life and stuff like that, in different stages. So that means we have to question what was put into us since birth, all the religious and societal programming, and let go of that, because most of that is not working to our best and is only hindering and blocking and limiting us, and sometimes even making us sick. So the high frequency energy that's coming from the central sun via our sun, especially at the end of a great cycle where we are right now, with 150 hertz, is of course causing change within us. And this higher frequency also enables dormant DNA within us. DNA is a living library. We currently operate on 2-strand DNA, but we're told in ancient texts and also from some fringe science nowadays that we have a 12-strand DNA. That was kind of switched off by the tinkering on our DNA in past ages, you know, aka the Anunnaki tinkering with our DNAs and kind of reducing our lifespan and stuff like that, to create a worker that's intelligent enough to follow their orders, but not intelligent enough to rebel against them. There again we have the admiration, adore, and worship gene function. You give away power to some outer source that you call God or whatever, and they were the gods with a small g, not the real one infinite creator. So this is such a topic, you know. I think I cannot express everything, but I do my very best to get at least the most important points. So this higher frequency coming from the sun and initiating the transformation of us with all our subtle bodies into a plasma light being or plasma light body does not only enable dormant DNA, which means you will get more abilities of the before kind of dumbed down or switched off psychic abilities we all have. So some will get the ones that did their inner work because they have less resistance or barriers against these higher frequencies coming in. They will get abilities like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, levitation, healing powers. Some will start to glow because of the higher frequent light they embody. We got a taste of that in the X-Men movies or the Superman movies. take away all the Hollywood exaggeration and misleading information, there is still some kind of soft disclosure in these movies, if you know to discern between the Hollywood exaggeration and misleading information and the true information. We will all get more psychic. And that means we will transform into a new human that's walking the earth in his plasma light bodies. And the earth itself will also change into a higher frequency state. So this is about a natural, organic evolution that is normal at the end of a great cycle. That is what ascension is all about. And the first wave will be those who did their inner work. And it's about doing it organically and naturally by allowing and following kind of the impulses and integrating of new thoughts, broadening, expanding your consciousness, and allowing more feeling to really hone your discernment, your psychic abilities. First of all is intuition, the gut feeling. And this happens without computer chips in your brain or artificial augmentation or having nanites in your body, which is kind of the false ascension or the imitation of the natural ascension, because there are other space races out there. It's mostly the Greys and the reptilians, the Dracos, who put their focus onto augmentation via technology. We don't need this technology. We are the technology if we only learn how to use all that we have inbuilt already by Source that created our souls, and these souls inhabit parts of our body. But as the soul is kind of so big, only 5 to 10% can really combine and inhabit this body vessel form that we are running around in. That's why all the other percentages have parallel experiences in parallel lives or lifetimes that we, as we perceive time here on earth as the wrong past, present, and future, think are past lives, but they are not. Everything is stacked upon each other and is just differing in frequency. So the first wave of ascension is the transformation of our bodily systems, including the subtle bodies, into plasma light bodies, and it happens via heat, which is a higher frequency coming from our sun, and pressure, whatever pressure that might be that you really have an inner fight to let go of one of your false beliefs or of the opinions that were put into you that you, without questioning, took from your parents, your teachers, authorities, churches, and societal programming. And you don't need any nanites or any computers or whatever. You are the technology, and it will happen because this is the very new thing. That's why all the ETs are around Earth and more are coming with their ships. This is a total new thing that never happened before, that a whole planet with its whole population is ascending into a higher state of frequency and being. Of course, not all will participate. There will be some who won't take that opportunity, and there is no judgment because of free will. It's up to you. What do you want? So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much for watching and spending some time with me. Blessings, love and light, as always, to you, beautiful souls on your soul path. Bye.